Back to John. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, in this final segment here, I'd like to discuss the future of the John Lebang Show, if I may. We think we need to make some changes to make this show the best show it possibly can be. 8 years now, we've been doing this radio broadcast. Started way back in 2012, and now it's 2019. And I'm tired of talking politics all the time, ladies and gentlemen. Because politics never solve anything. Politicians never solve anything. So although we may discuss some of these things from time to time, our focus moving forward is going to be offering solutions and solving problems. Giving you some ideas on how we can fix the problem. But somebody's got to come up with actual solutions. And it's not a politician. And when they try to offer a solution, it's blocked. Because it doesn't fit the greater agenda. In fact, we're not going to get back to a regular type schedule till sometime after February. Because we're not done with the studio, ladies and gentlemen, towards the end of last year. I was like pondering, just stopping, hanging up the microphone. Not because I don't like doing this, but because I didn't think I was doing any good. I wasn't getting through to people. Because it's one thing for everybody to listen. Nobody was taking any action. They were listening, but they weren't doing anything. But maybe I got a little stale. Maybe I talked too much about the same thing. Maybe I didn't grow in 2018. I was contemplating all this during the break. What am I going to do? Why am I doing this? And I was like inches away of just saying, you know what, maybe I should just hang this whole thing up. So what we're going to do here on the John Lebang Show is some of the changes we're going to implement. Besides just trying to add some solutions. We're still going to be the same John Lebang Show, I guess. It's still going to be me. You're still going to have me behind the microphone. But we're going to try to add a segment of we're offering solutions. If we're not going to talk about the news as much is what I'm saying. And we may touch on a subject that is in the news, but we're going to try to offer you a solution and let you guys run with it. And if you guys like it, you'll carry it on. If you don't like it, well, it's either not a good idea, or and I can accept that because I'm John Lebang and I'm just some guy who decided he wanted to try to help the country. That's shifting a little bit. I want to help the people now that they give a crap. Everybody else, if they don't care, why should I? As far as what's going on with the broadcast, we're going to try to do a thing on Facebook broadcast somehow. We did a tester. It sounded great. Looks great. We need a little bit more lighting in here, and that's where we're not done with the studio. And until we're done with the studio, we're not going to be able to do the kind of broadcast we want visually. So you're going to get like banger cam stuff, video cam stuff until that's running freeze a little bit better anyways. And I won't be as dressed as I would be if we were doing a video spot. And I guess that's what we're trying to get to here is we're going to incorporate way more video this year. Maybe like a first segment and a fourth segment type thing and not broadcast the whole show. Because we want to not take away from listeners from any of our stations or the ones that come directly to the website. But we're going to try that. We're also going to dip our finger back into YouTube, and we're going to see where we can go there. We've been pretty much shut down there, so I think they've Alex Jones me to the point where I don't think I'll ever get the numbers I used to get. I'm just not in the feeds. They don't put me in the feeds. You can determine why they do that on your own. So let's move on. The schedule. Basically, I touched on this earlier, you're not going to get regular broadcasts, at least through the month of January, as far as where there's going to be 2 hours of John Lebang Show, the music hour. It's going to be a little different until we get the studio up and running. You will get 1 hour of regular broadcasting type stuff. Then you're going to get a banger verse in the second hour. The only stations that's going to actually affect the scheduling in this is Alien X Radio, because they actually have us scheduled hour 1 Saturday, hour 2 Sunday, but hour 1 is going to be played on Sunday now, and hour 2 will just have to wait until the following Saturday, and that's how we're going to have to run it on Alien X Radio. The rest of the stations, it shouldn't affect any of you guys, so you're good there. But we're going to do the 1 hour regular broadcasting, 1 hour of the banger verse, and we've got up to, I think there's 18 with the specials, 18 weeks. So if we had to go that far, there's original content that's entertaining and all that for the radio station, so they have nothing to worry about as far as the content is concerned. I don't know if it's going to go that long. We have some specials we're working on, so we may add on to that coming up. You can go to the website for that, www.jlebang.com. After February, after the Banger Music Awards, we're going to determine what we're going to do with the Banger Music Hour. We've discussed some stuff with Mr. Derek Shelmerdine. He's going to be doing less work with us this year. He wants to focus on some other things, and that's just fine. He's probably going to be joining us during the music hour now for a 10-minute spot every couple weeks, and no full hours anymore. No major rock and roll unravels are going to be happening on the John Lebang Show, and that's okay too. I think that's run its course as well, and again we're trying to be a little more updated in what we do, and we're trying to keep ourselves, ahead of everybody else, because let's be honest, folks, if you listen to internet radio, I don't want to brag, but my God, people just copy me. Like, I'll do something and they do it right after me. And I know I'm friends with a lot of these guys, at least the good ones. It's like I said many times, there's a plethora of people. There's so many people doing this because it's so easy to do now. And if you just have money, you can do it, which is something we don't have. It's a miracle. We can do what we've done for the past 8 years, ladies and gentlemen, unlike everybody else. I shouldn't say everybody else, because I know there are other people that do with what they have. They work with what they have. But as long as you got money, you buy yourself a mixer, a microphone, a boom stand, camera, whatever, and you got yourself a podcast. You got yourself an internet radio show. So it's not that hard. So there's a lot of us out here. But the good ones, the better of the bunch, the ones that aren't just playing the same music that you can hear on terrestrial radio, those guys, some once in a while, those guys I'll hear some because I listen to them, and I'm like, man, were you listening to my show or something, bro? And you don't know. You don't want to call them thieves for taking your bits, but when it's really close, I mean, Jesus Christ, you got to wonder about that. No, sorry, I probably shouldn't say the JAC word here. Probably shouldn't. So let's finish up because we're running up against it here, folks. So as far as the stations are concerned, please, you're going to have to go to the website because there's been a lot of changes. We're no longer on Code Zero Radio. There's no listeners going there. I love Bob Minter, but there's nothing there. He was like, hey, man, it's just getting too much work. And I'm like, yeah, no big deal, man, because there's just nobody there. And it sucks, but again, now there's so many stations as well, and top of shows, that people have so many choices that it's diluting the market to the point where not many of us can get 50,000 listeners or 100,000 listeners, unless you bring it, you can be like the guys out there that have connections. And again, it's people who have money and who have no business doing the gosh dang thing in the first place because, one, they don't have a clue, but whatever. And just because they know people, they can just bring somebody on and knock in 15, 16,000 listeners because it's not because they're good. It's because you knew somebody that got you the big interview. So, and that's another thing we're probably going to do less here on the John LeBang Show in 2019. Less direct interviews. A vast majority of people who would come on the show just wouldn't put the time into, to promote it. So the numbers were no different. And okay, I'm not supposed to, I know that I didn't have the big name people on there because I don't want to. Why do I need to go after a movie star or a rock star? They get interviews all over. That's not original, man. So again, I'm helping the little guy, but who cares about that, right? Little people don't matter anymore in this country. So, couple more things and we got to get out of here because I'm friggin' long. Website, that's where you're going to get all the originations from, beginnings in February. Right after the Banger Music Awards, all the shows are going to debut on our website, www.jlebang.com. Then you'll be able to get them on all the syndicated networks, but you'll be able to, at any time, access it on demand at the website, www.jlebang.com. Got to get that out there because we're really focusing on ourselves now. Nothing against any of the stations, but way too many of them don't put the effort in. And you know who are the good stations because you never have to go, did you play, did you download, did you this? It's just there. It's just on. It's on time. But then there are a lot of stations that have been, a couple of stations, and they went through rough things too. A couple of stations just like, well, we're not playing shows for like 6 weeks, and we're not. So it's like, I'm still promoting your station. So no offense to any stations. We're still going to promote them. We're going to still have links to all the stations, syndicated network. If they want to promote our show, we'll pitch in money and promote with them. No problem there. But we want people to come to the website, www.jlebang.com, and start listening to the show there until we get, and here's the big thing, till we get our radio station up and running. And that's one of the big news events of 2019 is we've decided to, and we're going to make it happen somehow. We don't know how. We're broke. We barely have the money to do anything as it is, but we're going to start our own radio station. And that way we'll have our own home station that we know we can work around as far as time scheduling. We won't have to worry about being preempted at any time because that happens way too often too. The station has some special event because we're scheduled during that time period because a lot of stations schedule us on the weekends. And they preempt us. Or like some stations will have us at the time when Monday Night Football and somehow they're playing whatever. We ain't even going to talk about it. So with that being said, folks, we should get on out of here. We're really long. Thank you so much for the 7 years of patronage and listening to me here on my broadcast behind the microphone. I can't thank you all enough. You, my listeners, are the ones that truly mean a lot to me. And whether there's 50 of you, 2 of you, or 40 million of you, you guys are the reason I do this. The ones that truly listen, the ones that take the information I give you and run with it and give it to people, double check it, make sure you got to double check, right? I just played a trick on somebody the other day and I caught them. They caught themselves, but I had to, whatever. We won't get into that because we're done. With that being said, folks, thanks to all the affiliate stations for carrying the John LeBang Show, and until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears, again, this is John LeBang signing off from the Banger
10,
Studios.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have left.